What's going on, everybody? It's Professor Zeus, and I'm back with another video. If this is your first time at the channel, just know I greatly appreciate you, and I think you should subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we are taking it the humble route. So today we're looking at something pretty crazy. I saw it on social media, TikTok. It's an older woman who's saying she's done with her dad because he loves Trump. Done, like over politics. I'm like, are you serious right now? In my honest opinion, I think this is not warranted, and I think it's nonsense. And I've got thoughts. We'll look at it. We'll look at it. Why it's messed up. Why politics shouldn't affect your family life, and why this lady's out here, looking for validation instead of common sense. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're taking it the humble route. So let me just bring it up here.
And I'm obviously not. And we are very close. And the last, 6 months to a year have been really hard. Right. Because he's been defending and defending and defending. And I've had to dig really, really deep, spending time with him, knowing how he feels and what he supports. And it was sort of okay because it wasn't so blatant. And then after the Zelensky meeting yesterday, the embarrassment, the shock, the shame. And I woke up this morning in tears as soon as I woke up because I realized that for me, that was the straw. That was the swan song. And I think I have to end my relationship with my dad. I can't. Because if he can watch the things he's been seeing, assuming that he's actually seeing the truth and not just watching one station that feeds him the information he wants. But if he can see all that's been going on, the taking away of human rights, the hatred, the isolation, the dictatorship, all of the things, if he can have seen all of that and still support that, that means that he is not a good human being. And I can't have him in my life. I can't. And so I woke up this morning thinking to myself, how am I going to do this? Because I'm very, very close with my mom. And I'm pretty sure that she would prefer to be on the blue side, but she needs to keep peace in her home. I mean, she's in her 80s. And I understand that. But she will defend him. And she will tell me that if I don't have contact with him, I can't have contact with her. But I can't. I can't continue because every time I'm with him, I get a feeling in the pit of my stomach and I feel sick because he's somebody who didn't believe that January 6th was a bad thing or that police officers were hurt. When I asked him about it, I said, you're so pro police officer. I said, 5, 6 of them died. Well, what are you talking about? And I said, the what about the one that was beaten? And he said, he had a stroke. He had a stroke. And I said, he had a stroke because they beat the shit out of him. And he just can't get there. And so I just realized that if he can see all of the things, and if he could look at yesterday and think that is defensible and not think it's disgraceful and disgusting, that can only mean that he's not a good person. And I can't be around him. So I'm just hoping that others who are dealing with this or have dealt with this, I would love some thoughts, some comments, some feedback. If there's a way for me to mentally be okay with this, I mean, I don't see a way. I don't see a path to that. So, would love some feedback. Thank you.
All right. So, wow. So, okay. So here's the deal, right? When did we start getting on social media and just recording ourselves crying? That's beside the point. But this woman, she's on social media. She's on TikTok, posting for the world to see, crying about why she's cutting her dad off. Why? Because he's a Trump fan. Not because he's a monster, not because he ruined her life, but because he's got a different political leaning or ideology. And she's out here acting like this makes her some moral hero. And she's not a child. She's old enough to know better. She just said her parents are in her 80s. So, you're willing to ditch your dad over this? That's cold. And honestly, it's more stupid than sad, right? Let me break this down. Politics, it's a circus. It changes every 4 years, sometimes faster. Trump's in, Trump's out. Biden's in, Biden's out. Kamala campaign, Kamala didn't win. None of this is permanent, but family, that's the real deal. You're going to throw away a relationship with the guy who raised you because he got a MAGA hat? Yo, come on. This isn't about him beating you down or disowning you. It's just him liking a person that you don't like. And she's out here preaching, tolerance while being while being intolerant. The irony is thicker than the fluffiest cornbread. And we got to be real. She's doing this for likes, hate it or love it, for claps on the internet, for sympathy online, posting this type of drama like it's a badge of honor. That's not virtue. That's vanity. If you're that desperate for strangers to validate you, maybe the problem's not your dad. Maybe it's you. And look, I understand politics can definitely get heated, with this last election, whether you voted for Trump, whether you voted for Kamala, it really shouldn't matter. And I won't cut off anybody in my family just because they vote differently or I vote differently or however you vote. That's your right to vote, right? You have a right to vote however you feel is in your best interest. And I always say to people, never let politics get you this emotional, because when politics gets you this emotional, that means you have lost as a human. You've lost as a person. You've lost in the society, because these are elected officials that people get together to elect. So whether your person won, whether your person lost, you should not have any emotional ties to politicians. Why would you have any emotional ties to a politician or a candidate? You guys have seen in all of my previous videos, all of these politicians, whether you like Trump, whether you don't like him, like everybody's, you know what I mean? So even the last administration, everybody's, even our governors, our senators, like, you know what I'm saying? So why have any emotional allegiance to any of them? The real emotional allegiance lies with your family. That's what matters, right? You have a father who's up there in age. Instead of spending quality time with them, because you don't know, anything can happen tomorrow. I'm not saying, your pops is, you know what I mean? But anything can happen tomorrow. But call your dad and talk about stuff other than politics. Like, how is politics the only thing that is going to stop you from having a relationship with your family? You can't trade those moments for anything, because if your pops passes away now, How are you going to feel? Are you going to get back on TikTok and start crying again? Like, oh man, I wish I spent more time with my dad, even though he was MAGA. Like, me even saying that just sounds crazy, right? Life's too short to let politics draw a line in the sand. You don't get that time back, right? People are out here acting like political teams is some eternal truth. It's not the eternal truth. 4 years ago, we were all screaming at Biden, and now it's Trump over this, over that. It flips, it flops. It's a game. But breaking up with your family over this game, that's not a game. That's a choice you cannot unmake. Right? Your dad will not be here forever. You can't ditch the people who gave you life over something as dumb as a vote or a ballot. That's extremely selfish. That's extremely selfish, right? Because in a few years, politics is going to change again. And then it's going to change again. And then it's going to keep on changing. But the only thing that will stay constant is your family. None of us are given a chance or a choice of the family we come from, but we do have a choice for the type of family we create. But the family we come from, that's not our choice. That was ordained by a higher power that said, I'm aligning you with this family. You're going to come from this family. Don't take that for granted. Do not take that for granted. Family is everything. Politics is nothing. Family is everything. Politics is nothing. So yeah, this whole thing, it's a clown show. If you're really out here thinking politics is worth more than your family, you need to wake up, you need to go outside, touch grass, and you need to call your dad or your mom or whoever and talk about something real, not this nonsense, okay? That's I know that got a little crazy, but let me know how you feel. What do you think? Have you ever had a political fight with your family? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you liked it, smash the like button. Send this video to someone who, might see some value in it. And subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers and we're taking it the humble route. And never forget, it's you and I verse for a reason. I teach you, you teach me. We both take what we taught each other and learn from each other and apply it to what's going on. That's the only way life can go on. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.